YouTube, good morning. We have an interesting load today, and I don't even know if we're gonna be able to take it. We're let's see if y'all get. We're loading some pipe today, and he said it's 53 feet long. And my fifth wheel has already slid all the way back, and I don't know if it's gonna fit without it bumping my headache rack. So he's gonna put one on there to see if it fits and check the radius and stuff. If not, I guess we ain't going to Florida. And ain't too many loads on the board, so I don't know what we're going to do. It looks like we're going to be sitting until after the holiday if this don't work. As you said, it's 53 foot, 48 plus 4 means he has to hang basically a foot off the front, and I don't think that's going to work because my fifth wheel is still all the way back. And I had to have my headache rack a little further up because of my truck has an EPU and not an APU, so it's ran on batteries. So there's a battery box right where the U-bolts are supposed to go for the right where the U-bolts are supposed to go for the headache rack. And then the condenser and the fan is also back there. So my headache rack sits back a bit. So I don't know. We're about to find out. So if not, we're gonna have to Everything on this board right now starts on the 5th. Nothing leaves before the 5th. So we won't be able to do nothing until after the holiday. If this don't work. Unless something pops up today. So I'm not allowed to get out until he's done, so I don't know what y'all can see. Y'all supposed to get 4 of those. Supposed to get 4 of those. And I don't think anybody needs belly straps, so that's basically 2 and 2. I don't know how much they weigh. Probably gonna need about 8 to 10 straps, I guess. 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and 1 every 10 feet. And I still got to call the receiver because they didn't even really give me an address. I guess it's going to a construction site that don't have an address. He gave me like a dropped pin location to get there, and it is literally in the middle of nowhere. And the drop pin location isn't even really, there's nothing there. So I don't know. But if they can fit this on and I can take it, I'm going to have to call and see exactly where this guy wants me to go. Yeah, it's a doozy. check this out, and I'll be right back. It was good. All right, we got it on there. Got just enough space to turn. And we're strapping it down now, so I guess I'm gonna try to put y'all. I don't know how this gonna look. Put y'all on this thing. Alright, let's go do the other side. Because their specifications is 4 at the bottom and 6 up top. I don't think you won't get ran over. Try to put y'all guys on the ground. All right, y'all. All strapped down and ready to go. Close these boxes up and get on the road. I'll stop and get some fuel and get on the road. We gotta tighten our dunnage down because we had to move it off the trailer, put it under there. I gotta put a strap down there under that, and I gotta put a strap on this. I'll just probably put 2 bunches around it and get on my way. So, but he said all of these are going. All of them down there. And it's only 4 per trip, so that's a lot of trips. So he said he see Mercer trucks in here, Landstar, TMC, we all doing it. So alright, let me get myself on the road. I gotta stop and get a flag for back here, you know, from the pilot. So I'll have to see y'all when we get to Florida. What's going on, folks? Checking back in. Just finished doing our securement check. It's Tuesday. We are somewhere in South Carolina. About to hit Georgia. Just wanted to come chat with y'all for a bit. I know that a long drive. Figured we'd talk about Mercer a little bit. It's been about 30 days, so I guess we'll do a little 30-day review. If anybody's watched my previous videos, I've been at Mercer 30 days, but I've probably only been working for like maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I got to Mercer on May 26th. It was a little bit before Memorial Day. That was my last day at JB Hunt. I turned it on my equipment and stuff. And I went to Mercer that same day. That orientation that next Tuesday. So I figured wasn't no side. I took a load down there and stuff like that, so there wasn't no sense in me deadheading home and deadheading back, because I would have had to take another load because I ain't no job. So but orientation was only supposed to be that Tuesday through Friday. We did orientation for like Tuesday, all day Tuesday, some of Wednesday. From Wednesday to Friday, we did flatbed securement training, and I graduated on that Friday. Now, technically, after you graduate, you're supposed to get your trailer, your permit book, plates for your truck, stuff like that. You know, worst case scenario, you leave out that Monday on a load. Apparently, Mercer was supposed to get some flatbed trailers in. They came in, but the license plates for those trailers didn't come in. So they weren't able to register those trailers. So we still don't know what happened. But you know, some people are saying that the tags got lost in the mail. The mailman lost the tags some way, somehow. And when they kept tracking it, it just kept saying it was on its way, on its way, on its way. So fast forward about almost 3 weeks later is when we finally got tags. So I sat at Mercer for almost 3 weeks. No money coming in, but money going out. They were able to give me like one load. It was like a trailer recovery load. And then after we sat there for almost 2 weeks, that's when they started, I guess, compensating us basically $200 a day for sitting there. So, but I have an SFI truck note, if some of y'all didn't know, which is $1,353 a week. And then I still have all my other bills at home that I had to take care of. So me sitting at Mercer for 3 weeks really put me in a bad spot. So for anybody that's wanting to go to Mercer and do flatbed in particular, my recommendation is get everything you possibly can before you get there. And if you can get your own trailer before you get there, that's also a big plus too. I mean, they don't have that tag problem now. I was, part of an unfortunate circumstance, but going forward, hopefully they don't have that problem again, and they learn from their mistakes or whatever. But make sure you got some money set aside where, worst case scenario, if you do sit, you don't fall behind. Because once you fall behind, it's hard as hell to catch up, especially if you never done flatbed before. You didn't really know what equipment to get, so you relied on Mercer to give you all your equipment, and you financed all your equipment through them. Now, once you're approved for Mercer to be a driver, they give you a $1,500 equipment credit. That goes towards all your equipment. Now, before that $1,500, the equipment is around, if I'm not mistaken, it's like $6,800 before the $1,500 credit. That includes your headache rack, your straps, your binders, your Omni-Track, your camera, all that stuff. Like, you have to buy all that stuff. They don't provide you anything free of charge. You have to buy everything. So, and after that $1,500 credit, they also require you to put half down the balance of that $6,800. So you take away 15 from 63, you're at what, 58? No, 48. You're 4,800. Now you have to put down half of that. Now, I also had to pay a transfer fee to come from SFI to Mercer. That cost me $3,000. So I didn't have half to give them, so I gave them $1,000. So that left me a balance of around $3,800. Now, I did some homework before I got there on some of the things that I would need and stuff like that. But now that I'm out here doing it, I wish I would have changed some things around. Like the tarps, for instance. They give you 3 16 by 24 tarps, which are 4-foot drops. Or you could turn the tarp sideways and make it an 8-foot drop. And then if you have to cover the whole trailer, you will have to use all 3 tarps. I wish I just would have kind of not got those tarps and just would have got the top, because those tarps don't have a flat in the front. I kind of wish I just would have changed out those tarps and got tarps with flaps. There's a lot of places that require to have 8 pieces of dunnage. They only give you 6, so you got to buy more dunnage. They give you 2 sets of coil racks and stuff like that. I haven't done a coil yet, so I mean it's good to have just in case. But I have, most of the time, the places I've run and going to run, I haven't seen a coil load yet. So, but like I said, it's good to have. The straps, I had to buy more straps. They give you 12. A lot of places you need 14 and more. So I bought more straps. So right now I have 14 straps instead of 12. I'm gonna buy some more as money gets a little better and stuff like that. But as of right now, I got 14 straps, and they do what I needed to do. Is he coming after me? Speed limit is 70. I was only doing 67. pusher. They don't give you a strap pusher. You have to buy that as separate. That's 40. That's I think 30 something, close 30 something to 40 bucks. Oh, he chasing him down. Okay. The smoke tarps, they give you 2. I only got 1 because I didn't feel as though I needed 2 smoke tarps, so I only got 1 instead of 2. They try to give you more snap binders than ratchet binders. I kind of just flipped it. They try to give you 8 snaps and 4 ratchets. I flipped it and got 8 ratchets and 4 snaps. The chains, they give you 12. It's basically 12 chains and 12 binders. Some of my chains I'm actually going to cut down because they're all like, I think 25 feet long, which is some of the loads that I've done that I've used chains, them damn things are just entirely too long. So I'm actually going to cut some of mine down. Like take the hooks off the end, cut them down, and put the hooks back on. So I'm probably going to do half and half. But other than that, everything, I mean, I recommend you actually try to get as much equipment as possible. And the reason I say that is, in the beginning, when you don't have any, when you're fresh to flatbed, you don't have anything, and new equipment sounds great. Like, oh, I'm gonna get all new stuff. All right, they're gonna take out, they're gonna finance it, this, that, and the third. They're gonna take out X amount of dollars a day. So it sounds good till you actually start taking stuff out. So with Mercer, it's a 75-25 split. But when you first start off, it's still 75-25, but you have to pay your license and tag fees and stuff like that. That comes to $1,700. So they take that out of your check every day, like till it's paid. Your equipment, which includes your straps, binders, headache rack, Omni tracks, all that stuff, if you get everything from them, whatever balance you owe is $50 a day till that's paid. If you get a trailer from them, if you get a new trailer, the trailer payment right now is $775 a month for 71 months. So that's like what, 200 and it's like a little over $200 a week, I think it is. Somewhere around here. You also have to pay your trailer insurance, your truck insurance. My truck insurance right now is like $4 something a month. And my trailer insurance, I think it's like only $100 something a month. I'll have to go in and look at my statement, but it's around that. So they take out for the equipment, they take out for the tags and stuff for the truck, your trailer, your truck insurance and stuff like that. Now those fees add up. And I kind of wish it was like a flat fee every week, so you'll kind of know what's coming out of your check. But they fluctuate. Like with Mercer, they say you get paid every day, but it's not really pay every day unless you get it on your EFS card. Your EFS card, they can send money to it and you'll get it like that. Now what they do is basically 50-50. When you first dispatched on a load, you could take up to $400 out of that load. After you pick up the load, you can take, basically you get the whole 50% of the load But if you take the 400, just take 400 off of that 50%, if that makes sense. So say the load is 2,000. If you take off 400 when you first get dispatched, now you're basically down to 1,600. Now when you pick up the load, you basically take off the 400 from that other 1,000 you get. So you're basically only going to get $600, which puts you at half of what the load is. And then when you deliver, it depends how you have it set up. You can either have it go to your EFS card, with your fuel card, or you can have it go to your account. Now that can, depending on your bank, like I have Navy Federal, I get mine the next day. But it also depends on when they process your payroll. So if you get done your load at 11, 12 o'clock in the morning, there's a good possibility they'll process it in time for you to get paid the next day. Anything past that, like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they have to process payroll by 3:30 for you to get paid the next day. If not, you're not going to get paid to the day after that. So if you get done your load on Monday at 3 o'clock, you're not going to see the balance of that money till Wednesday. But if you get done before 12 and they process it in a timely manner, you'll get the rest of your money the next day. For me so far, I barely see the second half of my checks. The other 50%, I really don't see it. Because those fees are daily, they accrue daily. So the $50 equipment fee, that's added in every day. And the insurance, the trailer insurance, the truck insurance, your trailer payment, like all that stuff is added in daily. So the longer you go in between without doing loads, the more money is coming out of your next check. And they don't take out the same amount, because say if I only do $1,000 load and the second half of my check is $500, they still try to leave you some money. So they might not be able, for them to put all those fees together, they might not be able to take out the whole $50 for your equipment. They might only take out like $30-something. So I did a load last week. It was a day load. It was a little over $1,000. Out of my second half of my settlement, which was supposed to be like $560, I got $106 out of that. And mind you, I had just did a load like 2 days prior. So in my head, I'm thinking I'm getting back more money because I just did a load 2 days prior. But what they do is the more money you get on your second half is the more money they take out. Because they try to balance out what they couldn't take out before. Like if I only do $1,000 load and they only could take out $33 out of my equipment, that leaves like an $18 that they couldn't take out. So now I'm on like a $2,000 load. Like this load I'm doing from Florida is like $2,300. So now, but I know this from other loads. So now when I get ready, when this second half of this load, they're just gonna bend me over, because they're gonna try to catch up on all the money that they couldn't get from when they started billing me for the trailers and stuff like that. So out of the $1,150 or $1,200 I might get, like 11 cents some change, I don't even know. To be honest with you, I don't know what I'm gonna get. I really don't, because I don't know exactly what they took out, what they didn't take out. I don't know what they're gonna take out. So I might only get $300-400 out of that $1,100. So just starting out with Mercer in the beginning is going to be rough, especially if you financed all your equipment through them and stuff like that. the second half of that other 50% of your settlement, you might as well not even just don't even bank on it, because they taking it. They taking a nice chunk of it. So it's, you know, I mean, we just gotta. That's why I wished I would have gotten a lot of my stuff before I got there. Like, especially like the big ticket items, like the headache rack. You know, the tarps were very expensive because they charge you $208. They charged me $280 per tarp, and it was 3 of them. Then the chains and binders also come to like $1,000. The straps are pretty cheap. Like, everything else is pretty inexpensive. So the most expensive things were the tarp. Your ELD is kind of expensive. That comes to almost $800 installed. So it's like the headache rack, the chains, binders, tarps, ELD. Like that stuff added up very quickly. And it was like after I started working, it's like after I financed and started seeing things, like now it's like I'm part of, like, Mercer has a Facebook group for like their drivers and stuff like that, and there's people on there selling stuff. So it's like, it's kind of like after the fact, it's like somebody selling an ELD for like $250. That would have saved me $550 right there. You know, you got guys selling down there all the equipment, chains, binders, tarps, and everything for $1,000. Where I just paid $1,000 for three tarps, I could have got everything for $1,000. Yeah, it's used equipment, but it's still doing the same job. Because all them brand new chains and binders I got on my truck now, sitting there, that I'm probably only used twice, they sit up there getting rusty, and I ain't even used the damn things yet. So they're gonna look just like that used stuff I would have bought. And I gotta save myself a lot of money. And the second half of my settlements, I would have been able to keep. Because a lot of that stuff I could have bought off Facebook Marketplace or off of other Mercer drivers. Like, I probably would have paid a quarter of the price. Like headache racks. I'm seeing headache racks now on Facebook Marketplace for $400 or $500. They ain't the same headache rack I got on my truck. You probably threw some polish on that joint, polished it up, it'll look like new. So that's just, you know, it's just a little information. Like, I try to provide information so people that I've learned, and I try to pass it on so y'all will know going forward if you plan on going Mercer or anywhere else for that matter. I mean, I don't know why other companies do their, you know, their security. I know some companies, like if you went to Landstar, you gotta get all that stuff yourself. They don't finance, they don't have a finance option, none of that stuff. Like, you basically gotta buy everything before you even start doing flatbed at Landstar. So, but they also, their trailer is a little different. Like, there's a trailer rental fee, and you're not lease purchasing. Like, if you come to Mercer do flatbed, you can't rent the trailer. They're basically making you lease purchase the trailer. That's the only option, unless you bring your own trailer. There's no, you can't rent the trailer or none of that other stuff. It's basically a lease purchase for flatbed. There's no other way around it, unless you bring your own trailer. So I've actually found the Great Dane dealership in Missouri actually does lease purchase over there, and it's a monthly payment instead of a weekly payment. And I'm probably just go there. I'm probably just give Mercer their trailer back and go over there and get a trailer. They have brand new 2024s that you can put $5,000 down on and take the trailer and do a lease purchase. And it's aluminum, you know, it comes with the stainless steel wheels and all that stuff. It's lighter than the trailer that we have now. It's more decked out. Like the trailer that Mercer gives you, it's probably the plainest trailer you're gonna find. And they're big. Like, what Great Dane is charging for a spec'd out aluminum trailer with a stainless steel wheels is the same price I'm paying for this trailer. Which is crazy, but you I mean, I'm not bashing Mercer by, and it's just, they're a good company. I just wish I would have had more things in place before I came over. I was just done with JB Hunt. Like, I couldn't wait to leave. I mean, I guess I should have stayed a little longer and accumulated some of that stuff before I came to Mercer, but if we could predict the future, I didn't think I'd be sitting there for 3 weeks. I really didn't. I didn't see that. I didn't see myself sitting there for 3 weeks. And that sitting there for 3 weeks put me in a real bad spot. Because my girl is home taking care of the baby. So it's like I'm the only one basically taking care of everything. She's like a stay-at-home mom now. So it's my responsibility to take care of everything, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I tell you that, it's a lot. It gets very stressful. Having all that responsibility on your shoulders. So it takes a toll, but I'm fighting through it. I'm getting through it. We had some money saved, but that shit's long gone now. So it's like now I'm trying to play catch up, and right now I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm making less money now than I did at JB Hunt because of the way some things are set up over here. Like, and run a flatbed in particular, there's no, you couldn't run a load on a weekend if you wanted to. Drive-in, I could do that. If I wanted to run a load on a Saturday or Sunday doing drive-in, I could do that at JB Hunt. I can go book a Frito-Lay load on Saturday and deliver it on a Sunday. Mercer, I don't even say Mercer, just flatbed in general, most of the places that you go to are closed on the weekends. So it's like you're kind of only working, I can't even say you're working 5 days a week because you're kind of only working 4. Because a lot of places close early on Friday. And if you do pick up a load Friday, you can't deliver it Saturday. You got to hold it till Monday. So whatever loads you pick up on Friday, you're holding till Monday. So the fees are accumulating again because now you have a lot of days in between. And then some areas you go to, there's just no loads available. So you might be sitting a day or two. And those fees add up, and they ain't no joke. So that's why I kind of wish I just would have got a lot of stuff before I got here, so I wouldn't have all those fees coming out. That equipment fee is one of the biggest. That's $350 a week right there. So you figure $350, because when I was with JB Hunt, they was taking 35%, plus it was a flat $325 a week out of my check. So it's like when you saw a load on the board, their 35% was in it, but it's like I could kind of calculate a little better on how much I would make. Here it's a little different. Because when you see a load, when their load board is set up, their cut is already taken out. So that's basically what you're getting to the truck. Then you got to take your fuel out of it, and then you got to take out all these other fees. So it's like, if I'm running like right now I'm running to Florida. I left on Monday, I deliver on Wednesday. And that's another thing with flatbed. You're not delivering nowhere after 3-4 o'clock. That's basically just like not gonna happen. So it's like now, if I was doing drive-in, if I'd have left on Monday and got here late Tuesday, I'm gonna get where I got to get to today. Like I left Monday morning. I'm gonna get here probably like around 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. I could drop if I was doing drive-in. I could have dropped, found another load, and headed right back out. Because most drive-in is dropping hook. Flatbed, I can't get unloaded till tomorrow morning. So it's like I'm kind of like I'm losing the day. So now I can't get unloaded till tomorrow morning. And say if I wanted to come out of Florida, which is kind of hard. I mean, there's some things, but it looks like I might have to deadhead to Panama City for a load, which is like 7 hours from where I'm delivering. So you figure that's going to take me almost a day to get there. So it's kind of hard to fit long distance loads, like 2 long distance loads in a week. It's kind of hard to do it. So like this 2,300 I'm getting paid to go down here, unless I find something short to do, that's going to basically be what I'm making for the week. Until I book my next load out, and then I'll get half of that load. So you figure, depends on the load I got coming out, say if that's another $2,000 load, and I get half of that, you figure we're at $3,100. Right now I paid where is total? Right now I paid $557.26 in fuel. That's gonna get me. That's what I filled up in Hagerstown. That's where I loaded it also. So that's going to get me there. And I'm also still going to have some fuel left. I'm still going to have some fuel. I'm not going to be on E. I'll probably have like a quarter tank left after I deliver. So 557 in fuel and whatever fees Mercer takes out, you figure out of the 2,300, I'm only going to get what, maybe $1,000 out of this load that's going to take me 3 days to deliver. Maybe a little, maybe 1,000, maybe a little bit more, but with me 111 maybe. I know they're going to take a big chunk out of the second half, but I'll let y'all know when I do get that settlement. Because when I deliver on Wednesday, I actually have those numbers later on in this video. I'll let y'all know what that number is, what they take out. But I know it's going to be a nice little chunk. So, I mean, and I didn't say, and before y'all roast me about taking a load going to Florida for 2,200, originally we had a family thing planned. Like, I was coming down here for a reason. We had a family event in Georgia we were supposed to be going to. So the Florida was the closest I can get. So I took a little going to Florida because it's in the same direction. I was going to drop the family off in Georgia, go drop my load in Florida, then come back to Georgia, do our family event or whatever, and then get back on the road. That event got canceled. And with Mercer's not like JBM. Once you book a load, you stuck with that load unless an act of God happens and they take that load off you. But once you book a load with them, there is no giving it back. You stuck with it. So I was stuck with this load. This is not the load I would have chose to do. I only took it because we were supposed to be coming in this direction. But we ended up not coming in this direction, and I was stuck with it anyway, because by the time we found out, we didn't find out that everything was canceled because the event's supposed to be happening this weekend. So we found out on Sunday, middle of the day, that, you know, everything got canceled. So we done spent money on, you know, other stuff to prepare for this. And then I booked a little particular to go down this direction. And it ended up, all the plan ended up being changed. So I'm stuck with it. And the family at home, they pissed. Kids are sad because they wanted to take a trip. So daughter ended up crying. Like, it was just a whole mess. So, but no, I didn't book this load on purpose because it was only paying it's still paying kind of good. It was $223 a mile, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it used to, when I was at JB, it cost me $1.49 a mile to run my truck. I'm gonna have to redo it now because I'm sure that numbers went up because of the trailer payment and stuff like that. So I'm probably close to closer to $2 now a mile to run my truck. So the $2.26 that I'm making, I'm not really making anything. So if you figure a company driver gonna make more than me this week. And sometimes I sit back and I question myself. It's like, how long can I go like this without making any decent money? Like, should I just go back to being a company driver? Just do company flatbed somewhere? Because it's rough out here. Especially if you got an SFI truck. This SFI truck stuff, yeah, that's a whole other animal right there. Because you figure, man, I'm paying some people's truck note 2-3 times over what they pay a month. So, and you getting arrears $3,000. If you getting arrears $3,000 with them, they repossessing your truck. You'll come out, and it should be, speaking of somebody taking your truck, let's get off of Mercer a little bit. So I was home. I did a load. That day load was on Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. No, I did a little earlier than that, Tuesday. I did a little earlier than Tuesday. Then I had another other day load I had was booked for Thursday. So Tuesday I did a load, came home. I parked my truck by my house all the time, no problem. So I live in Philadelphia. Apparently, the city of Philadelphia decided that they wanted to pass a new ordinance or law stating that you cannot park a commercial vehicle on a residential street. They passed this law, didn't tell anybody about it. They didn't put it on the news. They didn't put street signs up. They didn't do anything. So I had a load for Thursday morning. Wednesday morning, I get up, I look out the kitchen window, I see my truck. I'm throughout the day, I'm checking on my truck, make sure everything's fine, truck there. Wednesday afternoon, around about 4:00 p.m., I go look out the window, my truck is gone. Truck and trailer. Now, I don't know if anybody has ever had their car stolen or truck stolen before. That feeling you get when you look out and see your shit is gone is not a feeling I ever want to feel again. Like, it's like a feeling of like panic and it's like you don't know what to do. So I called 911. I was like, somebody stole my damn truck. So they sent 3 officers out. So I explained to them, when's the last time I saw my truck, this, that, and the third. And I called Mercer and I asked them, can they GPS track my truck? And it was like, oh, your truck is heading down Roosevelt Boulevard. I'm like, I ain't nowhere near Roosevelt. Well, my house from Roosevelt Boulevard is maybe like 10 minutes. So from the time I looked out the window and they took my truck, it wasn't that much time. Like when I looked out the window, they probably took my truck maybe 5-10 minutes right before that. Like I just missed it. So it's like, yeah, your truck's heading so down Roosevelt Boulevard. So I just got the truck. So I didn't memorize none of the tags and stuff like that. So I called Mercer. Mercer closes at 5 o'clock. So because by the time the cops came and stuff like that, and we tried to figure out everything, it was a little bit before 5. So I called Mercer. They tracked this, that, and the third. And I hung up. So when the cops came and they was asking me for like the tag number and stuff like that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to call Mercer because all that stuff was in the truck and I just got the tags and stuff. I don't have it memorized. Mercer's closed. Mercer only works from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Nobody there on the weekends. And the people that's there after hours know nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are no help whatsoever. So if you need any type of help after 5 o'clock, you can't get it. And I don't understand that. Like I don't understand how you run a business like that. It's like you still have drivers out on the road that might need assistance with something and y'all can't help. It's nothing nobody can do till 8 o'clock the next morning. So from 5 p.m. till 8 o'clock the next day, you're on your own. You're on your own. Which for a company the size of Mercer, for me, is just unacceptable. But it is what they've been in the business a whole lot longer than I've been on this earth. So, I guess it is what it is. So the cops didn't know what happened to it. So they put a stolen report out on the truck. And so what I did was I walked to my neighbor's house that lives behind me. He has cameras set up. So I asked him, can he review the cameras and see where my truck went? Coming to find out, the city towed my truck. So I called parking authority. I'm like, y'all took my truck, this, that, and the third. That's why they were like, oh, you can't park a commercial vehicle on a residential street. I'm like, but y'all, there's no signs up. The only sign up on that street, it says no truck parking from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's the only sign up on that street. No other sign. So on top of them towing my truck, they gave me a ticket for $301 for parking my truck on the street. So they gave me a ticket and towed my truck the same day. So they were like, well, we close at 9:30. You have to pay the ticket in full to get your truck back today. And then you have to fight it in court. And if you win, then you'll get your money back. Like, for me, part of this shit is just a whole racket. Because ladies like, oh, it's $360 for the tow, and that's all you have to pay to get your truck back. I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. I go down there. Now, you have to pay at one location, then go pick your truck up from another location. But in my mind, I'm like, when I saw the footage, they towed the truck and the trailer separately. So in my mind, I'm like, why are they only charging me $360? I'm like, they used 2 tow trucks. So I'm like, something just ain't right. But I'm like, hey, y'all want to charge me $360, then whatever. So I get down there. The lady said it's $360. She's like, the ticket we just wrote, you have 15 days to fight it, so you don't have to pay for that. So I'm like, all right. So I paid the $360. She lets me know what lot my truck is at. I get there, and it's like, oh, well, there's additional fees. I'm like, what additional fees? She's like, oh, you have to pay $360 for the trailer, and then an hour of overtime for the tow truck driver. I'm like, what? Like, huh? Like, I understand the $360 for the trailer, but I have to pay overtime for the tow truck driver for taking my truck? Like, how is that my responsibility to pay overtime to the tow truck driver? I'm like, whatever. So, and they don't take card or nothing. It has to be a money order. So now I had to leave go find a place to sell a money order and get the money order for the $360 plus the hour of overtime. It can like 4 and some change. Bypass. All right. So did that. Got my truck back out. $800 later. So now I got to take more time off to go to court to fight the ticket and them towing my truck to try to get that money back. Money I really didn't have to spend. Like, I really didn't have it to spend at that time. So that's just a whole nother debacle. But it's just, you know, I just been having a bad month. I've been having a bad month. And I needed to turn around quickly because I can't keep this up. If I stay on this pace, I ain't gonna have a truck. I will be a company driver because at this rate, I'm not gonna be. I'm already 3 weeks behind on bills. So, I talked to my SFI rep, and he was kind of understanding or whatever. So, you know, he let me basically send in what I can send in. But, you know, I'm close to that $3,000 mark. So I'm spending as much time as I can on the road to try to make as much money as I can before I go back home. So when I left Monday, I told my guy, like, I don't know when I'll be back. I packed basically enough clothes for a month because I can't afford to go back home, because I might go back home and they fuck around, my truck be parked and they mess around, come take the damn thing. So I can't afford for that to happen. So I'm just gonna stay out till I catch up. But it's gonna be hard because, like, now I have to work double time to make up for the fees and stuff they take out on the back end for me to get a decent check. So, but yeah, that's my 30-day review plus a little rant about my truck getting towed. But like I said, Mercer isn't a bad company. They try to help me out, but it wasn't just me. It was other drivers there. They tried to help us out as much as they possibly could. So, you know, the tags came in and stuff like that. So, I mean, $200 a day isn't a lot of money, but I guess something is better than nothing. You know, give us a chance to, you know, get something to eat and stuff like that. So, but by the time they started giving us that $200, I got that for like maybe 3-4 days. So if they'd have did it sooner, it probably would have helped out a little more. But I only got that for like 2 or 3 days. So, and that just basically went to a bill. So, but yeah, if you're plan on going to Mercer and you're going to do flatbed, I might just try to get as much equipment as you can before you get there. And if you have to finance through them everything, be prepared to not see the second half of your checks. 80 to 90% of it is going to go to fees. Because, like I said, the way the load board is set up and the way they dispatch loads and stuff like that, it's kind of depending on the area you're in, it's not a first come first serve. Like, it's not like you go on a load board, you see it, you call, you get it as yours. If there's other drivers sitting in that area before you get there, even though you might have asked to get that load goes to the driver that's been sitting the longest. So it's not guaranteed you're going to get it, because they're going to offer that driver the load first. He has to decline that load, and whatever other driver you have in front of you has to decline that load before you can get it. So I can be going into Florida now, and it might be 5 drivers already sitting there trying to get out. If I see a good load, I could book it. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it. So there's also a lot of sitting with Mercer. So I might go down there and might have to sit a day or two if I can get a load out. But as I'm sitting those 2 days, guess what? Them damn fees, they still accumulating. So it's like if you take a week off. Say I go on vacation for a week. When I come back, my first check, they taking all that from the rip. So, you know. For all the people that wonder what my fuel economy is like, right now I'm pulling a little over 37,000 pounds, and I got my cruise set to 65, and I'm getting 8.1 miles to the gallon. It looks like he about to go all up in his trailer. I mean, 8.1 miles to the gallon, doing 65 on cruise, pulling 37,000, a little over 37,000 pounds, like 37,200 and some change. So yeah. If anybody wanted to know, that's what it is. It's going a little down low now because I'm kind of on a little hill, kind of sort of, but you know. And no, I didn't get the ABS fixed yet because I haven't made it to Louisville. I'm planning on getting in there while I'm out, whether this week or next week. I'll go over there and I get it fixed because apparently you could only get it fixed at the terminal, which is where they want you to do everything. Like every time you get your truck inspected, it has to go back to the terminal. DOT, like they want everything done at the Mercer terminal for some apparent reason. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But we just crossed into Georgia, so we got about another 376 miles to go, and got a smidgen under half a tank. So we got more than enough diesel to get what we got to get. I'll check it back in with you guys when I stop. Oh, forgot another important thing. Mercer doesn't have a toll program, so you got to pay all your own tolls. Something I'm not used to. JBN, I had to pay $100 flat rate every week. I can run as many tolls as I want. Get $100. Over here, you got to pay everything. No toll program. You got to get your own pre-pass, easy pass, best pass, whatever it is you want to get. To start that, they kind of give you kind of like a Mercer discount, but it ain't much. But to start it is $375. They mail you out your best pass sticker and your easy pass transponder. And then once it gets down past 175, it automatically replenishes all the way back up to 350. So yeah. More information I forgot to tell you. I'll check back in later. YouTube, good morning. We are in Davenport, Florida. We're about an hour from my drop off, which I don't think we're gonna be able to make today. We got here yesterday like around what was that, about 2:30 p.m. The truck was fine. I don't know what the hell happened. I turned the EPU on because the truck doesn't have an APU, it has an EPU, which runs off batteries. So turned that on, went inside, came back out, EPU wasn't running. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm hitting the power buttons, nothing's happening. So I done read the book. I done checked just about everything I possibly could check that I can find because I'm not too familiar with EPUs. So, and mind you, it was 98 degrees. It said it felt like 108 outside. So I was like, I hate idling my truck, but didn't have much of a choice. So I let the truck idle because it was hot. After about 2 hours of idling, I get a code. The truck started beeping. I get it's called Matter of fact, I'll just show you. Let me see if I could turn this around. I don't remember how to use this damn thing. Oh, it won't flip. Great. Alright. For some apparent reason with iPhones, you can't flip the camera while you're recording, which is stupid. That's just retarded. That's retarded. Alright. Let me stop the video, flip the camera, and then I'll record again. Give me 1 second. Alright, of course it's a little sunny, but that's the fault that I'm getting. SRC fault. And it says engine will derate in 24 minutes. When it first started, it said 60 minutes. So I'm not exactly sure. I had Loves look at it. They said it's something with the depth system. Because if you look at my depth gauge, it's not moving. And I filled it up. So that has something to do with the depth system. It's not getting communication or something of that nature. Check engine fault. It says system communication. We're not going, and it says missing communication from ACM ECU. Camera got a mind of its own. So you're missing communication, engine will derate, check engine fault, stuff like that. So back 1 second. All right, back. So
ELD data diagnostic event occurred.
So yeah, that's what I'm going through. Loves couldn't fix it. All they could do is run the codes. And when I tell you, like this truck, I don't know. I've been having just the worst luck. Between the truck being towed, me sitting at Mercer for 3 weeks, and now this. I thought the month of June was bad. July ain't starting no better. So there are 3 pages. I'm about to show you all these. 3 pages. That's the first page. Camera wants to keep tracking me. That's the second page. And there's the third page. Of faults. Some of them are inactive. Some of them aren't. The active ones right now is after treatment reagent level, abnormal update rate, lost communication with PM sensor, no subtype information, lost communication with NOx sensor, A, lost communication with NOx sensor B, lost communication with redundant control module on engine subnet, lost communication with after treatment control unit, lost communication with redundant quality control module. Then I had a lot of other inactive faults that I didn't even know was in here. Left headlamp module, voltage below normal. Those 4 of those. Another left engine module, 14 of them. Same thing with the right headlight. Windshield wiper switch, 11 faults. turn signal faults. It's just like data link faults and LCS sensor faults and heads-up display faults, speaker faults. When you play the music a little too loud, you get a fault for that. I think you can't go past like 20. You go past 20 and it plays for a little while, then it gives you a fault. Wheelbase vehicle speed signal invalid from the transmission, clutch plate load, brake switch status, just engine control error signal. It's just faults on top of faults on top of faults. So it's 24 minutes to derate. I could drive it now, and in 24 minutes will derate to 5 miles an hour. The shop, the Volvo dealer, is 36 minutes away. So I was going to try to drive it there and make it, but I don't think that's going to work, and I'm not trying to be stuck on the side of the road. So this is where a nice little maintenance account comes in handy. I got like $4,000 in my maintenance account, so we're going to use that for a tow, which the lady said is going to cost about $1,500. Hooray. $1,500 for a tow, and then everything else is covered under warranty. So tow truck is 90 minutes out as of half an hour ago, so maybe they're 60 minutes out now, and they got to tow the truck and the trailer. So, well, I got to call over the next train and see if they got a place for this trailer to go. I got to see if they got a spot for my trailer. And the guy in Loves said he used to work there, and sometimes they give out like rentals or loaner trucks, because I'm still loaded. So, and my drop off is like a half an hour from there. So I'm going to see if they let me borrow a truck for like an hour or so I can at least deliver my load and get that off my trailer. And then we'll just take it from there. I'm just hoping it's something stupid, like, because my battery dies a couple of times and I have to jump start the truck. So I'm hoping it's just maybe a hiccup in the computer or something, because there's no way all these knock sensors and shit went bad that fast. Like, all the knock sensors is like not giving up anything. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's something stupid that doesn't need he said it might need a DEF what's it, ACM management computer. I think it controls the whole DEF system. That's basically what I'm having, is the DEF problem. So hopefully that's not needed, and it could just be like a simple reset, or that's what I'm hoping for. But knowing my goddamn luck, it was like those repairs could take up to 2 or 3 days. Don't know where I'm gonna stay at for the next 2 to 3 days. I mean, I got family in Fort Lauderdale, which is a couple hours from here. I could probably call somebody to come get me, and I got family in Georgia. I'm like in the middle of both. So it's like, who do I call? Like, y'all drive 5 hours to come get me while my truck's in the shop? And then y'all gotta drive 5 hours back to come drop me off, and then 5 hours back home. So, I mean, it's a lot to ask for somebody, so I wouldn't want to put nobody out like that. So I'll probably just find a cheap hotel or something and stay there until the 4th of July is over. Maybe rates will go down. But yeah, that's the current situation I'm in. And mind you, the truck only has 67,000 miles on this truck. And this is the second, I guess, breakdown it's had that's actually with a truck. It had to be towed the first time, but it was in the shop for 2 months over backwater parts for the turbo. Mind you, I had the truck for an hour. I literally just picked it up from SFI, but that's in a previous video. like one of the first videos I ever made. I think it's back there somewhere. I ran the EPU all night because I finally got that to work. That was a blown fuse. I had to take there's extra batteries on top of, it's extra batteries. All right, what's going on, folks? Checking back in. It's nighttime now. It's been a very eventful day. I think I just watched a little bit of the last video. I left off of the EPU. It's back there under the headache rack in between the frame rails. So it's battery powered. It doesn't run off diesel like APUs. It runs off of 4 truck batteries. So while I was making a video earlier, I had the truck running because I was charging battery from running the EPU all night. I figured I'm getting it towed, you know, what the hell. I don't really care about it derating or whatever. So when the truck ran out of those 24 or 26 minutes, it actually, I guess the computer's read and it wasn't as bad or something like that. So it went from 26 minutes to 0 minutes to, it gave me an extra 180 minutes. So I was like, shit, 180 minutes. I was like, an hour to get to my stop, 45 minutes from my stop to the dealer. I said, shit, I might be able to do this and save myself some money on a tow. So I called the dealer, told him what was going on. He was like, drive it, you be all right. It's like, shit, you ain't just tell me, you gotta tell me twice. So I called SFI back, told them to cancel the tow truck. Got out, delivered our load. Couldn't film there because of a lot of, where I delivered at, OSHA is real big out there, so they have like a lot of rules and regulations. I had to like watch a safety video and sign some paperwork and stuff, so filming wasn't an option, unfortunately. So I didn't get any footage, but I was able to deliver my load. I was also going to tell y'all how much Mercer took out of that second half of the load. It was a lot more than I thought they would take. I'll tell you that. So the total load going down was $2,200. I took out $400 for fuel, and then after I picked up my load, I took out an additional $700. So made it $1,100. I was still owed $1,100. I paid $550 in diesel, so I basically had $550 left. And I dropped the load, sent in my empty call, sent in the bills and stuff. About 2 hours later, I get my settlement email. It was very depressing. Out of $1,100, I got a whopping $208. Yeah, $208. So for 3 days worth of work, out of $2,200, you took out $550. Oh, then I had to get the fuel again because I thought maybe because my def was low when I parked that night, so I was like, oh, maybe my def was just low and it's not reading. That's why I'm getting the error. So I went over, got some fuel, put some def in it. So that was like, I put 50 gallons of diesel and I filled up the def tank. So that was around 200 and the def was like $40. The diesel was like 180. So like $220. So 770, say 770, 775 in fuel total. And then with Mercer taking out an astronomical amount of money, I wasn't really left with much. I got a maybe like $500-600 out of this load for 3 days of work. Yeah. And then they turned around and took. I didn't even get the whole 200 because while I was sitting at Nextran, they took another $169 out of my settlement. I'm like, I get the email. I'm like, what the fuck? So I call them and they're like, oh yeah, back on June 13th. I'm like, that's the day I left. I left to do my first load. They're like, yeah, back on June 13th, you got some t-shirts. I got 2 t-shirts, 2 extra pieces of dunnage, another set of coil racks, another set of rubber belting. I got a push pull for the strap for edge protectors and stuff. So that stuff came like $169. I was like, can you just take it off my EFS fuel card? Because that's when they started giving us like $200 a day. So I was like, oh, I just got $200 that morning. I was like, I'll just use it to pay for this. Well, apparently they're claiming they never took out the $169 back then. I'm disputing that, but they got all control over everything I can see. So I feel as though I got robbed for $169. But it is what it is. So, you know, I felt as though I paid it twice. But it's whatever. It's like I'm fighting a losing battle because I talked to 3 different people in truck pay and they all saying the same damn thing. Like, I have the email where the lady actually sent me an email and was like, the money's not in your account right now. Can you add this money to your reserve account? At first I didn't know what she was talking about. This was on June 20th. Then they sent me a settlement paper saying they took the money out. They don't have no record of that. I sent it to them. They still saying no record of it. So I'm still trying to fight it, but as of now, they acting like they don't know what's going on. So, but I called Dextrain. They told me they didn't have any way for me to park the trailer. So there was like, it was a place called Truck Spot. It's in Arbondale, Florida, something like that. It cost me $22 to park my trailer there for the day. I didn't stay there the whole day. After they got done with the truck, I picked it up and I started heading north. So right now, I am right outside of Lake City, Florida. Hoping that either Panama City train is going to have some air conditioners or the insulation place in Lake City is going to have a load for me in the morning. So I wanted to be closer to the 2 versus being over down here in Winter Haven where there's nothing going on. So I made a calculated decision. Hopefully it works out for the best. We'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, I took the truck to train. Not the train, the train. Took the truck the next train. They looked at it. I got there like a little after, like I got there like 1:30. I think like around maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock. The guy walks in, he's dangling my keys. He's like, "You're all done." I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, "You're all done." I was like, "What's the problem?" He was like, "You got a fuse missing." I said, "A what?" He said, yeah, the fuse that's by the battery box, that's plugged in and in a sleeve. It's like a little protective sleeve that you actually have to unclip and pull out. There wasn't no fuse in there. Yeah, the fuse just disappeared. Don't know what happened to it. It just vanished. Just gone. Just don't know where it went. Hope just. So they put a fuse in it, and everything's honky dory. So I don't know if that's something that I don't know. I'm not even. I don't even know. I really don't even care at this point, because I already lost out on a great load. I was coming out of Miami, going straight to Louisville, Kentucky, paying $3,000. So it is what it is. Like, I really needed that load. I really could have used that. So, because right now, I mean, Mercer done took so much money out my ass, I'm actually kind of caught up on everything. And they took $786 just for equipment fees. Because when I first got there, they told me it was going to be $50 a day for equipment fees. Apparently, my equipment fees aren't $50 a day. They are $66 a day. So my first load was like 4 something, because it was like 18 miles. The next load after that was like 1,300. Then I had like a $1,900 load, a $1,300 load, like a $1,100 load, a $675 load, and then this $2,200 load. So out of the second half of those loads, I guess the smaller ones are like 1,000 and stuff like that, they weren't able to. She says the way she explained it to me was, after I take my $400 for fuel and I take my 50%, what the other 50% that's left, they're allowed to take up to 40% of that number for fees. And you have to split that between your truck insurance, trailer rental, insurance, equipment, all that stuff. So they have to put all that stuff into that. They had to break all that stuff into the 40%. So she's saying they weren't able to take $66 out per day because some of those settlements, it wasn't enough. So whatever they couldn't take out, it just kept accumulating onto the next load, to the next load, to the next load, until it got to this load where they was able to basically catch up and bring me current on everything. Because out of total, they took out almost $900. So as of now, if I was to take a job tomorrow and deliver it the next day, they won't take out as much. So, but the way things are looking right now, it looks like I might not get a load till a Friday, which I'm not going to deliver till Monday. So that would be, I delivered today, which is Wednesday. So you're talking about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days. That's gonna be $300 just in fucking trailer, just in equipment already. That's $300 already. So it's like, I don't know. So that's why I said earlier, if you go on a Mercer, try to buy as much equipment as you possibly can before you get there. It's a whole lot cheaper. It will save you a lot of pain and suffering. So, but yeah, truck's running fine now. Load was delivered, and now I'm just sitting at a TA right outside of Lake City, where the parking was not free, because there's a TA here and there's a Love's. I went to the Love's, and I didn't eat all day. I was like, they got a Hardy, so I went and got me a burger, fries, and stuff like that. And I was going to park at the Love's. Packed, tight, like you can't even get in the joint. I'm like, but I seen the TA from the highway. I'm like, the TA is empty. There's like 1 million spots over there. There was a reason. I said, all right, I'm just gonna get my food at the Love's and drive down to the TA. I get to the TA, and what do I see? The
It's a guard shack. Not really a guard shack, but got a little bar and stuff. You gotta pay to park. It's not free. The first 2 hours are free. But for the stay the whole night, it's $5. Which is pretty reasonable, because if you went to Love's or Pilot or something, or some other TA, them damn reserve spots is fucking $20. So I said, $5, whatever. For peace of mind, I'm like way out in the back in the corner on an end spot. I ain't got to worry about nobody parking next to me, hitting me, none of that stuff. So I can get a peace of mind. I can get a good night's sleep tonight. And I ain't got nobody reefer parking next to me either, running all damn night, keeping me up. So, but I think that's it.